This is an iMac that runs at 2.4 gigahertz, comes standard with a 320 gigabyte Western Digital drive, and we're going to swap out the Western Digital for a 1000 gigabyte Seagate 7200 RPM drive. Okay, as you can see, I've attached the suction cups to the front glass. These suction cups I picked up at Tool King. I think they were about $6 for the pair. So here we go. And you'll notice I'm using gloves that have the rubberized palms, so you've got a good grip on the glass. Next, we're going to remove the front bezel, which is going to require removing 12 Torx T8 screws from the front. The 4 screws at the bottom are longer than the other screws. There are 4 at the top and 2 on each side. Before removing the front bezel, you have to remove the access door for the RAM, which is held on with one Phillips screw. Here we go. There are 2 Torx T6 screws that hold the LVDS cable to the logic board. They're located right here, and we're going to remove those next. And there is a black pull tab for removing the LDVS from the logic board, and that is now loose. So this will allow us to remove the entire LCD. Now we're going to remove the 8 Torx 8 screws from around the LCD panel. I'm going to reposition the computer to do that, so I'll be back in just a minute. Also a small display sensor cable that needs to be detached from the board. It's right with the computer base facing me. That connector is just to the right of the fan. We're going to go ahead and pull that. I'm using a nylon black stick for doing that. There we go. Okay, since I'm all by myself today, I'm going to use a couple of cardboard devices that I've got here for propping up the LCD so I can remove the other connectors. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, this shows the two connectors that are closest to the bottom of the computer right here. And I've actually put labels on these wires. I'm not sure if there's polarity in this case, but just to be sure, this one has a pink wire and this one has a light blue wire. So we'll just go ahead and disconnect those now. They can be a little bit tight. Okay. This job would be a little easier with an extra pair of hands, but since I don't have an extra pair of hands at the moment, I've just propped up the LCD from the back, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the other two connectors. There. So now the LCD is loose. We're going to go ahead and pull that. Oh, I should also mention that this area right here, if you've had your computer on recently before doing this upgrade, there's a certain amount of electrical capacitance in this circuit, and it is high voltage, so be very careful. Okay, here's the hard drive. There is one more sensor. It's a thermal heat sensor that is attached to the drive, and we're going to have to detach that and stick it to the new hard drive that we're going to be inserting. That is covered up with a piece of foam. It's got a little bit of self-adhesive on it. And here is the sensor. So we'll just pry that loose. And now we're ready. Oh, there's a piece of tape that's holding down these wires here, and we'll have to remove those too. We'll replace that with some Captain tape. So this lever here, it's very difficult to get this away from the frame, but this is the holder that holds in this side of the hard drive. There are two pins holding in the other side of the hard drive. So we're going to work that loose. And we're going to disconnect two connectors, and our hard drive is loose. The bracket and the two posts, this is the bracket, two screws holding the bracket, and those are T8 Torx, and the two posts, which are also T8 Torx, need to be removed and replaced on the new drive. This is the old drive, this is the new drive. So, we're ready to reverse the process.